If you haven't made it downtown to the Greeley History Museum lately, or at least since April, you're missing out. So we're going to talk today about this wonderful exhibit that we are standing in today, which is at the Greeley History Museum, as I mentioned, called Weld County in the Atomic Age. And here to tell us more about this exhibit and some of the exciting things that you can see and learn while you're here, we have Holly Berg, who is curator of exhibits with the Greeley Museums, as well as Britannia Barber, who is an assistant curator of museums. Oh, that was a whole lot to say right there at the beginning, but great to have both of you here today, and thanks for being here. Let's start out, Holly, with you. Tell us more about this exhibit and why 13 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. So this one was a really fun one to put together. I mean, do you think so too?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, this one was so much fun to put together. So it was originally inspired a few years ago. A few of the museum staff got together and we were lucky enough to take a tour of the missile site that's located just west of Greeley, in between Greeley and Windsor. Unfortunately, they're not doing tours anymore, but we got to squeak right in right at the end of that. And we realized we had never really explored that era here at the Greeley History Museum. We'd done a lot about World War II, but we figured it was time to move forward a little bit. So we got to explore the atomic age through our collection. And doing some of that research, we were really struggling to figure out a title for this exhibit. We came up with so many. And then we finally stumbled across a newspaper article from the Denver Post. At the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis, October 1962, the Soviet Union has stationed missiles in Russia, and experts estimated that a Soviet missile from Cuba could have reached Denver in as little as 13 minutes. So we wanted to explore this idea, this tension overriding the decades, the atomic age, about needing to live your daily life in all the ways that means, but also being so prepared with this tension hanging over your head that you could have as little as 13 minutes to prepare. So that's what you'll find in this exhibit.
Okay, well, so I'll just start off, or preface that, I guess, by saying I would probably just stand there for the first 12 and then go, oh, I should be doing something. So I'm not one of the survivors, but I know that survival was a big part of that. And right here behind us, and this was fun when we walked into the exhibit, we have kind of an example of a shelter, a replica of a backyard fallout shelter that has some local ties. So how did you put the shelter together? And I'm assuming there's a little bit of a story behind it.
Oh yes, there's a story behind everything we do. We're exhibit professionals, that's who we are. So in the course of research, just like finding the 13-minute fact, we also were, through a contact who knew someone, had a family friend who are local here in Greeley who actually have a fallout shelter in their backyard. An underground bunker. And they were so generous, they invited all of us over to come and see it. And some of us were braver than others. You were braver than I was. But we had to climb down a ladder that was in this chimney looking thing, and we went down into this shelter and explored what it was like. We were so inspired by that we worked with our awesome local theater troupe, the Stampede Troupe, to help us design and build a replica fallout shelter, which is what we have in here. So this is almost exactly what they had in their backyard, minus some of the fun stuff we put in it.
Yeah, well, and I won't give away some of the fun stuff. So, Britannia, we're going to jump over to you. So the backyard shelters aren't the only remnants of the Cold War in Weld County. We also have several missile sites here in Weld County, which I kind of learned as I was researching a little bit to do this interview today. And so people that are visiting the exhibit can get a sense of kind of the size and the significance of the missiles. I'm looking across the way here at some of the pictures that we were talking about before. So what are some things that people might be surprised about or interested in about the sites, the missile sites?
Yeah, so we have one right between Greeley and Windsor, so we call it our local site. And a couple of things that people might be surprised about is one, that no missile was ever launched from that site. However, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, our missile was on standby, fully fueled, which typically it wasn't fueled when it was being stored, and ready to launch. So I can only imagine how terrifying that was, seeing an 80-foot plus behemoth for 6 days on your daily walk or driving to work. And also the short operational time frame of these sites. So for example, our site was only operational from 1961 to 1965. It was then decommissioned in 65 because the Atlas missiles were being phased out for the next generation of ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, called the Titan and the Titan II.
Ah, yes, I've heard of those.
Yeah, so it just shows how quickly technology was changing and advancing back then. And even though our missile site was decommissioned in 65, it wasn't handed over to Weld County until 72. But they still own and take care of the property today, and it's a beautiful park called Missile Site Park. You can go visit and explore. Yep. But like Holly said, unfortunately, the silo itself is not open for tours.
Yeah, okay. So for the exhibit here, I know that we've got a limited amount of time, but there's still a little bit of time that's left for folks to come visit it. Can you give us an idea of when or how long the exhibit's going to be here, and maybe some of those hours, museum's hours, that folks could stop by?
Yeah, Britannia,
do you want to do that?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the exhibit is open until December, and we are open Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 4 p.m. So you're welcome to drop by and check out this exhibit as well as the other exhibits in the museum.
All right, and just real quick, Dean's giving me little hand signals, but I want to make sure that we mention there's a couple more events that are coming up during noon that are planned that are tied to the exhibit. Can you give us highlights real quick?
Yes, yeah. So we have two more coming up. One is Saturday, August 9th. We are having Jim Widler, who is a United States Air Force veteran and missileer, come in, and he's going to present about his time working as an Atlas D missile mechanic in the Cold War. And then our last event is going to be a Veterans Day event on Saturday, November 8th. And we've titled that Military Memories, and we're going to have a panel of local Cold War veterans come in and share their service experiences with us. It is free and open to the public, but space is limited. So we will have advanced registration available, and if you do register in advance online, you do get free admission to the galleries afterwards.
Okay, whew, we did it. All right, well, Holly and Britannia, thank you both for being here today. So much to see in this exhibit, so folks will want to maybe allow a little bit of time to absorb it all, but I learned a lot today just being here, so thank you both for your time. And for you viewers out there, make sure that you head over to greeleymuseums.com for more.